Rockets fans are absolutely livid with this as we are seeing a generational fall off from the regular season to the postseason from none other than what is supposed to be the Rockets' star player in Jalen Green, and I'm telling you, it does not look good. Welcome into Rockets Digest. I'm Jace Andrews, and I appreciate you joining us here. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. As I mentioned, if you hit subscribe, the Rockets tend to win, so I want to keep this season alive for as long as possible. So if you hit the subscribe button, just means the Rockets are going to at least get to Game 6, hopefully even Game 7, if we can continue this subscriber chain. Now, the big thing here with Jalen Green is just what has happened this postseason. He had the 138-point game in the win, mind you, and it was great. At home, you win 109-94. In all seriousness, you do blow out the Warriors. That's what happened in that game. That was by far the largest margin of victory. And not only that, the entire game the Rockets dominated. Throughout that entire game, there was never once where we thought the Rockets were going to lose. There was never once where we thought, oh no, here come the Warriors. The closest it got, I think, was like 6 points at one time in like the third or fourth quarter. But this can't happen from your star player when he has that 38-point game after scoring and averaging 20 points per game, and then he doesn't score above double digits in each of the losses. 7 points against Golden State in Game 1. 9 points against Golden State in Game 3. 8 points last night. The minutes even went down because Ime Udoka is noticing it. And granted, the game plan for him was not there last night. That is a big part of that. Fred VanVleet was hitting the shots, and things were going in the right way when he was on the bench. But that shouldn't happen, right? When you have a guy as Jalen Green, and there was so much hype about him finally getting into the playoffs. You know, the highly touted pick, the guy who, in all seriousness, started this Rockets rebuild, getting his team to the postseason. Obviously, Fred VanVleet is now the veteran, but I still consider Jalen Green to be the leader of this team in a lot of aspects. But this is not what a leader does. It's not. You don't score double digits, and he's a guy who scores it regularly. I mean, that's where I continue on, and we just look at this season. Jalen Green has played 12 games with fewer than 10 points in the 2025 NBA regular season. 3 of those games came in the last 3 games of the year on the nothing games where the Rockets barely played him. I think he played maybe 10 minutes. So wipe that off the board. We'll wipe those 3 games away as well. It's an 82-game season. Obviously, he didn't play all of them. But in theory, when he was on the court in really all, I mean, he played most of them. He's not scoring double digits in only 9 of those games. And yet in the postseason, 3 out of 4 games. That can't happen. That can't happen for a guy whose talent is undeniable, averaging 21 points per game in the regular season. Rebounds, obviously, and assists are there too. He's young, I understand. It's his first playoffs. There's some nervousness. You're facing a team that has had historical dominance over you. But at the same time, it just doesn't really make sense what has happened all of a sudden. And it baffles me for so many different reasons. And the reason why I think I'm so upset about this is because it's not just his points. It's not just his stat sheet. It's just the overarching theme when he's on the court. There's a reason he only played in 25 games, or 25 minutes. There's a reason he only played in 25 minutes. Because when he was on the court, it wasn't working. It wasn't. Not to mention last night he only had 1 assist and 3 rebounds. 5 turnovers, by the way, last night. Not sure that's something a star player does. It's getting to a point where you start to question it, and you look at this season, and when the Rockets have Jalen Green scoring above 10 points, they're 6-6. 3 of those games, again, did come in those last final games, so say 6-3. But still, he's an important thing to the ship, and he's not doing it right now. And some of the problems that I have with this is it feels like the focus isn't there. I mean, we continue on and go back to that Game 3. You scored 9 points. Yeah, you had 6 rebounds. You had 5 assists. That was, of the 3 terrible games, one of the better ones, but still terrible game. And yet you have an altercation with Draymond Green in it, which everybody's had an altercation with Draymond Green at this point. If you've been in the NBA for more than 2 years, you've gotten in it with Draymond Green. That happens. However, his comments after the game, after a Game 3 loss in which the Warriors did not have Jimmy Butler, he said this, quote, "Just talking. He can't really do much of anything else, so talking is his only way." Seems like it may be your only way too, Jalen. You're not shooting nearly as well as we need you to be. You consider yourself a top player in this league when your field goal percentage has been at 21 game and been 36 and 37 in other games. 20% from behind the arc in 2 games, 0% over 4 in game 1. This doesn't look good for you, for the team. And the bigger thing around this is there has been trade rumor after trade rumor for Jalen Green been thrown around. Oh, Devin Booker. That's going to be a big one. Oh, well, we need to get more points out of him. And it's infuriating when you look at the stats and just know what this guy was. I don't know what happened. I understand we're young. The playoffs are here. Golden State is very, very experienced in the playoffs. I mean, I know that their team is not what it used to be, but Podziemski's doing great. Obviously, Post off the bench last night had double figures. Draymond is still one of the best defensive players in the game. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler, who joined an already good playoff team as a good playoff player, is something to note as well. But it's just hard when I look at this team and I see the regular season and I see the things and the defense that was so great, and then you go out and Golden State is getting 26 points from Podziemski. They're getting 27 points from Butler, who wasn't even confirmed to play the game until mid-afternoon. 13 points from Quentin Post as well. The defense isn't there from Jalen Green. The offense is most certainly not there from Jalen Green. It's very questionable now of like, if a good trade offer comes in for Green, I don't see why you don't take it now. That's kind of the point blank thing is if there's a good offer that comes in for Jalen Green and Ime Udoka describes this as a win now team, well, do you take it? If a Devin Booker for Jalen Green swap comes in, do you take it? I don't really know what to do, and I know there's still time in this postseason, and he could have a great Game 5, and the Rockets could win, and that would be amazing. But I just can't stand by and watch what I know is a star player collapse in the playoffs. And you can compare this team to the Oklahoma City Thunder and say, well, last year, OKC, who's now the best team in the Western Conference by far, probably the best team in the NBA. We'll see if they win the finals or not, but they're the best team in the NBA record-wise. And last year, they fell early in the playoffs to the Mavericks, who, again, went on to win the Western Conference and lose to the Celtics in the finals. But the thing that they showed was their star players were contributing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did not have a game where he scored 6 points. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Green needs to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's not what I'm saying. But the big thing is you can't have these star young players play like this in their first takes because the confidence isn't there. And when you only play 25 minutes and you give up 5 turnovers and you lose the game by 3, it's tough. And that's kind of the final point I want to make here. When you look at these scores, 95-85, Jalen Green scores 7. He averages 20. I know it's not how it goes, for the sake of the argument, 13 points because he averages 21, right? Oh, boom, you win the game. Even if he averages 20 points. Let's say he gets 17 in this game, 3 points less than his average. You tie the game, you go to overtime. Games play different. 9 points in game number 3. You lose that game by 11. Now he reaches his average, you're tied up. Last night, 8-point average. Only played 25 minutes, but 8 points. Averages 20. You lost by 3. Shots that he didn't get to go could change the outlook of that game. I'm not going to say it's his fault that we're losing these games because it's really just a combination of kind of all of the bad traits of the Rockets that we saw throughout the season but didn't really recognize because they were winning, all come crashing down all of a sudden to a very experienced and talented playoff team. That's just kind of what it is. And so we sit here now, and what do you do with Jalen Green? Do you keep him? Do you see what happens the rest of the playoffs? It's just infuriating to watch. And I got to be honest, if I'm watching Game 5, if I'm watching Game 5 coming up, and he's not playing well, I'm going to have a hard time wanting to keep him next year. And it's hard because I know regular season was great, but it's recency bias. And when the big lights come out, the big names have to show out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I appreciate you joining us here on Rockets Digest. Once again, we're pushing out content like nobody else, so hit the subscribe button. It's free, it's easy, and it helps the Rockets win. We'll see you next time here on Rockets Digest.